There are almost 10,000 species of birds on our planet, and they come in all different shapes and sizes, from the tiny bee hummingbird to the enormous shoebill. But some of the biggest birds on Earth can stand taller than any NBA player and spread their wings way wider than a king-size bed. From the largest bird of prey in the rainforest to Earth's craziest beast, here are 15 of the biggest birds in the world that will make you do a triple take. Let's start off this list with number 15, shoebill. The shoebill doesn't walk, it looms. And when it locks eyes with you, it doesn't blink, no matter if it's rain, wind, or Donald Trump. This prehistoric oddity from central tropical Africa stands up to 5 feet tall, but it's that massive bill, shaped like an old-school wooden clog, that steals the show. Equal parts cartoon and cryptid, it somehow manages to be both hilarious and unsettling. Shoebills don't flap around making noise. They just stand, motionless, statuesque, and unbothered for hours, staring down the swamp like it owes them money. That 8-foot wingspan is not for show. When they decide to move, it's sudden and surgical. They feast on lungfish, baby crocodiles, and whatever else is foolish enough to swim near. And yes, they clap their bills together to make a sound that resembles machine gun fire. That's not folklore, it's real. And here, the shoebill doesn't care if you think it's creepy or cute, it just exists. Like a feathered sleep paralysis demon that happens to waddle. And honestly, that's kind of amazing. Number 14, cassowary. Cassowaries don't ask for respect. They demand it with 5-inch daggers on each foot. These towering Australian nightmares can grow up to 6 feet tall and weigh around 150 pounds, making them the 3rd largest bird on Earth. But what really earns them their terrifying rep isn't the size, it's the kill count. Yes, the cassowary has actually ended lives. A few well-placed kicks and it's game over. Their powerful legs can rupture organs like bubble wrap. Add a prehistoric helmet-like cascus, midnight black feathers, and a face straight out of Jurassic Park, and you've got yourself a real-life velociraptor in drag. Native to the dense rainforests of Papua New Guinea and northern Australia, cassowaries are shy until they're not. Back them into a corner, and they won't run, they'll fight. Hard, and unlike other flightless birds, cassowaries are pure muscle. They don't chirp or tweet. They thump the forest floor like angry sentinels of a forgotten age. If you want to keep it as a pet, we say just one thing: it's not a good idea. Number trace, Andean condor. You'd think a vulture wouldn't be picky, but the Andean condor is basically the Gordon Ramsay of the scavenger world. It's not settling for roadkill squirrel. This beast prefers full-sized carcasses. Deer, cattle, the occasional unlucky llama. Native to South America's towering Andes, the condor is a sky giant, boasting a wingspan of up to 10.5 feet. That's not flying, it's gliding through mountain winds like an ancient hang glider with a bad attitude. Weighing up to 33 pounds, it's one of the heaviest flying birds on the planet, yet it can soar over 180 miles in a single day without flapping more than a few times. These birds live high, fly higher, and eat on their own terms. You'll rarely see them in action unless you're hanging off a cliff at 10,000 feet or happen to stumble across a fresh carcass. The condor isn't here to please. It's here to rule the sky like a gluttonous ghost with wings, and it's not asking for your approval. It's a wild bird. Number 12, harpy eagle. The harpy eagle doesn't just fly through the rainforest, it dominates it like a feathered tank with talons. This apex predator is one of the largest and most powerful eagles alive today, and when you meet it, you feel it. With a wingspan that can reach 7 feet and claws the size of grizzly bear paws, it's more monster than bird. Native to Central and South America's tropical forests, the harpy is a ghostly ruler of the canopy, silently snatching monkeys and sloths right off the branches, some weighing up to 17 pounds. And that's with zero warm-up. Despite their intimidating strength, harpies are tragically rare these days. Deforestation is squeezing them out of their natural kingdom, But don't be fooled by their endangered status. They're still fully capable of ruining your whole afternoon if provoked. Imagine walking under the jungle canopy and spotting a bird that could straight up bench press your dog. That's the harpy. It is regal, terrifying, and absolutely not your average bird-watching experience. So stay away from it. Number 11. Marabou stork. If a bird could haunt your dreams, it would be the marabou stork. We mean, just look at that monster. This isn't some graceful swan gliding through the mist. This is the Undertaker bird, a lanky, hunched scavenger with a look that screams post-apocalyptic funeral director. Standing nearly 5 feet tall with a bill like a butcher's blade and a wingspan pushing 11 feet, the marabou is less bird, more airborne ghoul. Its pink, fleshy wattle hangs like a deflated balloon, and its bald head gives it the look of something that doesn't mind getting messy. And it doesn't. These birds will eat literally anything: dead fish, reptiles, trash, even other birds. They'll snatch flamingo chicks right out of the nest. Cannibalism, not off the menu. Their massive wings let them soar silently over African savannas, but it's on the ground where they really unsettle. They gather around corpses like a crime scene cleanup crew, completely unfazed. Graceful in flight, grotesque up close, the marabou is what happens when Mama Nature leans into horror. Number 10. Ostrich. The ostrich isn't just big, it's comically oversized in every way. This bird skipped flying class entirely and decided to become a track star instead. Standing up to 9 feet tall and weighing in at a beefy 230 pounds, the ostrich looks like someone photoshopped a turkey onto an NFL linebacker. And it runs like one too. With legs built like coiled springs, it can clock speeds of 43 miles per hour, making it the fastest two-legged creature on Earth. So yeah, if this bird doesn't like you, you're not catching it. And if it really doesn't like you, its kicks can literally be fatal. We're talking legs strong enough to crush bones. Native to the savannas of Africa, ostriches have adapted to be runners, survivors, and absolute nightmares to any predator stupid enough to challenge them. They don't fly, they don't sing, and they definitely don't need to. When you're that tall, that fast, and that badly dangerous, wings are optional and feet are the weapon. Number 9. King penguin. This penguin doesn't need to fly. It glides through icy waters like Aquaman. This tuxedoed beast may not be the biggest penguin on Earth. That honor goes to the emperor, but it's a close second, and it wears the crown with pride. Standing over 3 feet tall and weighing up to 40 pounds, the king penguin is built like a bowling pin and moves with the swagger of someone who knows exactly what they're doing. Their colonies are jaw-dropping. Mass gatherings of over 200,000 penguins packed together like sardines on shorelines, all honking, waddling, and doing the business of breeding. They eat fish and squid with relentless focus and can dive 1,000 feet deep just to snag lunch. They don't chirp. They trill, with sounds that vibrate through frozen wind like alien Morse code. And when the camera zooms in, you can't help but hear Morgan Freeman narrating. Regal, relentless, and beautifully bizarre, the king penguin really does live up to its name. Number 8. Wandering albatross. This is not just a bird. It's a full-blown myth with feathers. With the largest wingspan of any living creature on Earth, stretching up to 11.5 feet, it doesn't fly so much as glide forever. Seriously, these birds can cover over 600 miles in a single day without breaking a sweat. They live at sea, circling the Southern Ocean like winged sailors, only returning to land every 2 years to mate. Their courtship dances are weird, intense, and surprisingly romantic, featuring synchronized beak taps and bizarre noises you'd expect from an alien mating call. But it works. Once paired, they mate for life, which is pretty rare in the animal kingdom. They've been tracked traveling the equivalent of multiple trips to the moon during their lifetime, and no, that's not an exaggeration. Climate change and fishing nets are messing with their numbers, which sucks because seeing one in the wild is like spotting a floating ghost. It's massive, magical, and almost unreal. Number 7. Great and Cory bustards. These birds don't look like they should fly, and physics agrees. Yet somehow the great bustard and Cory bustard both manage to get airborne, despite being absolute units. Weighing up to 40 pounds and stretching between 7 to 9 feet in wingspan, they're officially the heaviest flying birds on the planet. That's not soaring, that's controlled levitation through sheer willpower. The great bustard is found in Europe and Asia, while the Cory struts across the African savanna like it owns the place. They're not flashy, just unapologetically massive. Males especially bulk up during mating season, sometimes doubling their weight to impress the ladies. No gym, no problem. These aren't birds that zip around the sky. They take off like overloaded cargo planes, reluctantly, but once they're up there, it's kind of incredible to witness. Heavy, awkward, strangely elegant. They prove that sometimes size does matter, even if you need a runway just to get off the ground. If you want to catch a glimpse of these impressive creatures, you can visit them in their natural habitat by going on an African safari, but be sure to hire a good guide. Number 6. Greater rhea. The greater rhea is South America's answer to what if a feather duster became sentient and angry. Standing at 5 feet tall and weighing up to 66 pounds, it's the continent's largest bird and one of the strangest creatures to strut the grasslands. Flightless? Absolutely. Intimidating? Weirdly, yes. Rheas gather in massive flocks outside of breeding season, sometimes 100 strong. Imagine 100 wide-eyed birds glaring at you like you just insulted their mother. That's the vibe. They're omnivorous grazers, gobbling plants, bugs, lizards, basically anything that doesn't run faster than them. And speaking of fast, these birds can sprint at 40 miles per hour when they feel like it. Their wings may be useless for flying, but they flap dramatically while running, like they're in a telenovela. And the males? They're single dads raising up to 50 chicks at once while the females just peace out. So yeah, they're giant, emotional, dramatic, high-speed feather monsters, and you absolutely wouldn't want to get in their way during nesting season. Number 5. Dalmatian pelican. The Dalmatian pelican looks like it was designed by a 5-year-old who thought bird meant sky dragon. This thing is massive. An airborne bus with feathers. Stretching nearly 6 feet long with a wingspan of up to 11 feet, it's one of the largest flying birds on Earth. Native to Europe and Asia, it cruises above wetlands like a ghostly blimp, swooping down on fish with that oversized, stretchy bill like a biological fishing net. But despite their size, Dalmatian pelicans are surprisingly elegant in the air. It's only when you're on the ground, staring up at one, that you start questioning the laws of physics. They typically travel in colonies, sometimes with 250 other oversized companions. Imagine that squad overhead, just wings, beaks, and awkward prehistoric vibes. They're also the heaviest flying birds in the world, with some reaching up to 33 pounds. So if one ever crash lands in your backyard pond, congrats, you've just won a visit from the bird kingdom's most intimidating fish enthusiast. Alright guys, now let's talk about Number 4. Emu. The emu isn't trying to win a beauty contest, it's just out here living its best, weirdest life. Standing up to 6 feet tall with a gangly build and feathers that look like they were cut by a blind barber, this Australian native is the second largest bird on Earth. And while it can't fly, the emu runs like its life depends on it, because it usually does. With legs that could outrun most humans and a top speed of 31 miles per hour, the emu is less bird, more marathon machine. It doesn't stay in one spot for long. Emus roam the outback like feathered drifters, always moving, always searching. And don't let that derpy expression fool you. They're curious, confrontational, and occasionally chaotic. They've been known to chase cars, steal shiny things, and even wage a semi-successful war against the Australian Army in the 1930s. No joke. The emu is fast, freaky, and just a little unhinged. And honestly, that's kind of iconic. What do you say? Number 3. Mute swan. The mute swan looks like a floating poem until it tries to kill you. Graceful on water, snow white and serene, it glides like a ballet dancer with a chip on its shoulder. But don't be fooled by the elegance. Underneath that angelic exterior is a feathered rage machine with wings strong enough to snap a human arm. Seriously. They're one of the heaviest flying birds on Earth, weighing in around 30 pounds with a 5-foot-long body and a wingspan to match. Native to Europe, parts of Asia, and North Africa, they now grace fancy ponds worldwide and will aggressively defend every inch of their territory. Kayaker, dog walker, child with breadcrumbs? Doesn't matter. If you're near their nest, you're getting chased, and they won't stop until you're humiliated. Ironically, mute swans aren't even mute. They hiss like broken kettles. The mute swan is the only bird on Earth that can make a swan dive feel like a personal attack. Number 2. Domestic turkey. This turkey is a full-on tank in feathers. While its wild cousins are agile and flight-capable, the domestic version traded all that in for pure size. These heavyweights can grow over 4 feet tall and tip the scales at 85 pounds. That's not a bird anymore. That's a feathered linebacker. And despite the goofy gobble and waddling walk, turkeys have attitude. Real attitude. They'll pick fights with parked cars, mail carriers, their own reflections, anyone they think is getting too close to their turf or their hens. Males puff up like feathery balloons and strut around like they run the place. And in many backyards they kinda do. It's easy to forget that this bird was once revered by Native American cultures and nearly became the national bird of the United States. Instead, it landed on our dinner tables. But make no mistake, turkeys aren't just dinner. They're survivors, scrappers, and sometimes absolute jerks. And that's what makes them great. Number 1. Cinereous vulture. The cinereous vulture doesn't bother with subtlety. It arrives like a thundercloud with wings and stares at you like it's already calculating your expiration date. Towering up to 4 feet tall with a wingspan that can stretch nearly 10 feet across, this old-world vulture is one of the largest birds of prey alive. Native to the remote highlands and forests of Eurasia, it's often seen looming in silence, waiting, watching, hovering like the final boss of every animal's worst nightmare. But it's not here to attack the living. It's a professional cleaner. Roadkill, carcasses, decaying wildlife. You name it, the cinereous vulture handles it with grim efficiency, and it doesn't show up alone. These birds travel in ominous clusters around the dead like a feathery funeral crew. Despite their role as nature's cleanup squad, there's something deeply unsettling about watching a bird with a 9-foot wingspan next to a corpse and start working like it's just another Tuesday. It is beautifully creepy. And that's it for today, guys. We hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, well, as we always say, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating content like this. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon in the next one.